Depending on when you grew up and where you grew up, you might recognize this guy. This is Mr. Yuck, and in the 70s and 80s, he was a symbol raising awareness for poison prevention across the United States. Now, he wasn't the only mascot used to warn kids about ingesting poisonous chemicals. For instance, I grew up in Arizona, and we didn't have Mr. Yuck. We had Officer Ugg. If you lived in Illinois, you might be familiar with No Psyop, the poisonous snake. Get it? Because No Psyop is poison spelled backwards. The point is, growing up, it wasn't uncommon for Gen Xers to see poison control stickers featuring any number of unique mascots on bottles of drain cleaner, floor wax, and antifreeze. As time passed, safety regulations like childproof packaging or mandatory warnings on packaging greatly reduced the number of childhood poisonings, and Mr. Yuck and his ilk were mostly phased out. However, recently, many of the safeguards put in place to protect consumers are gradually being stripped away. This, combined with the fact that not too long ago, it wasn't uncommon to see people popping Tide Pods like they were candy.
Doctors suggest hiding the containers or putting them out of the reach of children.
And maybe it's time to rethink the idea of a poison control mascot. I'm Scott Serkland. Join me in the art lab. Let's suit up. Here we are in the art lab, and I thought it'd be interesting to take what we remember about classic poison control mascots like Mr. Yuck and Officer Ugg and use that knowledge to create a new and improved spokesperson to warn kids about poisonous chemicals and toxic exposure. Let's start by exploring some concepts the old-fashioned way with pen and paper, keeping in mind what worked with some of the original poison prevention mascots. The idea is to discourage kids, so we don't want the mascots to be cute or friendly looking. Mr. Yuck, with his sickly green face and sour expression, was a representation of what happens if you ingest toxic chemicals, while Officer Ugg was more of an authority figure, warning kids to stop, stay away. For my design, I want to combine both of these ideas. So, what kind of authority figure can we use? Police officer has been done. What else? Firefighter, teacher, relative? To me, a doctor would be the most relevant. You know I have a proclivity for mad science. I'm thinking something along those lines, like a mad professor. What does that look like? Crazy hair, mustache, glasses, safety goggles. I like the idea of including one of those old head mirrors that doctors used to wear. While kids today might not be familiar with what that is, to me it's kind of iconic, and also I'm trying to create a character that would feel at home in the 70s or 80s. One thing most of the previous mascots had in common is that they were neon green, which, if you see my lab coat, you might have guessed is one of my favorite colors. As much as I like that color, it can conjure feelings of being nauseous, so I'm going to keep that as the main color when I get to my coloring stage. In addition to the sickly green color, what else can we do to show kids that if you ingest poison, you're going to be sick? You know, why hold back? I'm just going to show him barfing his guts out. So, our mascot needs a name. We could go with something like Professor Puke. I'm not crazy about that. Dr. Detox? I like the alliteration there, but nowadays the popular definition of detoxification is commonly associated with alternative medicine. What about simply Dr. Toxic? It still rolls off the tongue, and I think it's kind of catchy. Dr. Toxic it is. Now let's go from pen and paper over to the desktop and start cleaning up our design in Adobe Illustrator. While I tighten things up, let's talk about the origin of Mr. Yuck. Back in the late 60s and the early 70s, accidental poisonings were a serious problem, especially among kids. Cleaning products, medication, and pesticides were kept under the sink, often unlabeled, with bright, bold colors looking dangerously like candy or soda pop. So poison control centers needed to warn children, don't touch this. At the time, most bottles used the old standby, the skull and crossbones. But in Pittsburgh, that didn't sit right. You see, Pittsburgh had a huge attachment to the skull and crossbones, thanks to the Pittsburgh Pirates Baseball Club. Kids actually associated that symbol with fun, sports, and adventure, not danger. So in 1971, the city of Pittsburgh teamed up with Richard Moriarty, a pediatrician at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, who founded the Pittsburgh Poison Control Center and the National Poison Control Network. Together, they created a new kind of warning label, something that would make kids go, ooh, gross, instead of cool, pirates. Enter Mr. Yuck, with his ghastly green face scowling with his tongue sticking out like he just licked a bottle of bleach and deeply regretted it. The idea was simple. Put stickers on anything poisonous at home, and kids would associate that gross green face with a bad, yucky experience. The campaign worked. Mr. Yuck with his catchy jingle, free sticker sheets with a poison control hotline number, and a simple slogan, Mr. Yuck is mean, Mr. Yuck is green.
Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green.
Home is full of lots of things that children shouldn't touch. Home is full of bad things that can hurt you very much. Now there's a man whose face is green that you ought to get to know. He'll warn you when danger's coming fast or slow. Get to know his face in every single place. When you see it, you'll know quick. Things marked yuck make you sick, 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 sick. Mr. Yuck is mean. Mr. Yuck is green.
So there were television commercials, even one that aired during the 1975 Super Bowl. There were school programs with classroom coloring sheets, you name it. It was one of the first public health mascots that used psychology aversion, not just warning kids, but making them feel a strong emotional reaction. And it stuck. By the mid-1970s, Mr. Yuck wasn't just a Pittsburgh thing. He was popping up in selected cities across the nation. Even some other countries like Australia adopted Mr. Yuck as their poison prevention mascot.
Now I'm a sticky fella that you ought to get to know. I can save a lot of tiny lives and really help the show. What you kids mustn't touch, cause everywhere I'm stuck, they'll recognise my frowning face and shout,
Mr. Yuck, Mr. Yuck says don't touch Mr. Yuck. He's dangerous, so beware Mr. Yuck. Mr. Yuck is the children's friend, so look for him everywhere.
Inspired by Mr. Yuck's success, poison control centers in other countries started rolling out their own mascots. Arizona had Officer Ugg, a cartoon cop who warned kids about unsafe chemicals. Illinois had No Psyop, the poisonous snake. Nebraska had Pinky, the poison prevention elephant. Other places had mascots like Fireman Red, Captain Be Careful, and my personal favorite, Uncle Barf. It was kind of a mascot free-for-all. Did you grow up with Mr. Yuck, Officer Ugg, or any of these other mascots? Let me know by leaving a comment in the comments section. Needless to say, things got confusing. With each city inventing their own character, none of them standardized. There wasn't a clear national message. Some kids grew up with Mr. Yuck, others with Officer Ugg. Some had no mascots at all. And while these characters were helpful locally, the lack of consistency made it harder to build lasting recognition. By the 1990s and the early 2000s, things started to change. National poison control efforts shifted away from mascots and towards a single, easy-to-remember number, 1-800-222-1222. Regulations improved, packaging got safer, and warning labels became standardized. Plus, with fewer educational budgets and evolving design standards, the mascots began to fade out. And let's face it, some of them were kind of creepy. But Mr. Yuck, he stuck around in Pittsburgh and a few other places. He's become something of a retro safety icon, collected by fans of odd mascots, vintage PSAs, and Gen X nostalgia. which is kind of my thing. So here I am bringing the poison prevention awareness mascot back with my own twisted twist. I'll be sending a link to everyone on my newsletter on Substack so you can download and print out your own Dr. Toxic stickers for yourselves. When you join the newsletter, you also get the free Comic Maker Starter Kit, packed with fonts, templates, and digital brushes you can use in your creative projects. Plus, more freebies every month. You can sign up at my website at serkworks.com. And if you want more awesome extras, join me on Patreon for exclusive videos, behind-the-scene content, and working files for this and all of my past projects. Link in the description. Time to wrap up my Dr. Toxic design. I'll print and then cut out a few sticker sheets on my Cricut. And even though I don't have any small children in the house, I'm going to play it safe and slap some stickers on a few items that could use a little extra warning. So there you have it. I think we did a pretty good job reinventing the poison control mascot. If you like this video, then slap those like and subscribe buttons like you would a poison control sticker on a can of floor wax. And if you want to see more content like this, you can click on this video right up here.
Look at that. It could be something good to drink. But maybe it couldn't. Remember, even though something looks like it could be good to eat or drink, it could be a poison. So always ask a grown-up first and stay safe.